In this tutorial, we're going to see how to create a bouncing ball effect. You see the finished product on the screen now, that you'll have a ball fall down, hit a base, it'll compress as if it's bouncing, and then it'll go back up. And at the same time, you'll see or hear a sound effect of the ball bouncing. You can see the little sound wave file right here on the sound layer. We'll see how to insert that. But let's look at the sample of this. In my example, I had started with 3 layers. So let's first create 3 layers. Well, you have one already created, so let's insert a second and a third one. Let's name the top layer the ball. Let's name the second layer the base. And let's name the third layer the sound. Now that we have our layers created, let's proceed by creating a ball. We're going to use the oval tool, and I'm going to hold down the shift key as I draw this ball so it stays perfectly round. Then once I have the ball, I'm going to select all of it and right click on it, convert it to a symbol, we'll call it ball. Now let's create the animation for the ball falling. So I'm going to click on frame 45 on the ball layer, and then right click and insert a keyframe. Then I'm going to move the ball down on the screen, and then come up and between frames 0 and 45 create a classic tween. That should make the ball fall down. Now we want to create the effect of the ball being compressed or squished. So what I'm going to do is create a new keyframe on frame 50. Then I'm going to use the free transform tool, and I want the ball to compress from the bottom of the ball. So I need to move the white handle in the center of the ball down to the bottom of the ball. Now when I click on the top middle handle of the ball, you can see it will compress from the top down. Then between frame 45 and 50 on the ball layer, I'll create a classic tween, and we should now see the ball squish or compress between 45 and 50. Next, we need the ball to regain its original shape, so I'm going to click on frame 55 of the ball layer, insert a keyframe, and I'm going to drag the ball back up using the transform tool until it's round again. And I also want to move this up because as it's regaining its shape, it will be rising back up toward its original point. I'm going to continue by creating another classic tween on the timeline on the ball layer between frame 50 and 55. Then I'm going to come over to frame 70, insert another keyframe, and then move the ball back up toward its original position and create a classic tween in between there. So we should see the ball bouncing up and down pretty well now. Next, I need to create the base for the ball to bounce on. What I think I'll first do is come over to frame 70 on the base layer and create or insert a frame, and I'll likewise do the same for the sound layer while I'm at this. And I'm going to come back over to frame 47, I believe. Let's scrub this a little bit. And actually it's frame 49 is where the ball hits rock bottom. So there's where we want to create the box. So I'm going to use the rectangle tool. I'm going to make my box blue, and we'll create the box so that it's aligned with the bottom of the ball. So now we should have that effect of the ball hitting the base. Of course, you kind of see it compresses, starts to compress, but when we played this, that shouldn't be that noticeable. I think that's giving this the desired effect. Next, we need to import the sound file. So we're going to the File pull-down menu, choose the Import. I'm going to import mine to the library. And you'll need to browse to wherever your sound files are. In my case, I have a folder called Flash CS4, but I'm looking for the Boing Spring. I think that's what I used. I'm going to open that or import it. Now if I look at my library, I should see that WAV file there now. And I want that sound to start playing at frame 45. So I'm going to come on my sound layer and create a keyframe at frame 45. And then I'm just going to take and drag that WAV file onto the stage somewhere. Now if we preview our movie, we should hear the sound. We may need to adjust the placement of our blue box, but for the most part, this seems like it's working as it should.